Yo, what's good? It's been on fire here back on the video, and today we're going to be bringing you guys another offensive ebook. This one was recommended to me in the comments, just like this guy. You guys could comment what you want to see, and I can definitely bring it to you. So never be afraid to ask for something. But we're going to go over the tight offset tight end again. I think I did a gameplay on this before. I might have also posted a separate video, but we're going to update it. It's at that point in the year where a lot of things have changed. A lot of metas have changed in the game. So we're going to go ahead and update some of the stuff in it. Now, we're going to go ahead and be in the Los Angeles Chargers playbook. It's also in things like Saints as well, Packers, if I'm not mistaken. But I like the Chargers the best. You have a nice bunch. You have a nice Y-off trio. And then you have a Trey Y flex if you need it. As far as under center, you also have a couple of decent things like wing stack. You have deuce close. So you definitely have some good options in this playbook. And it's overall a pretty good playbook. Now, the first thing we're going to do is go to the Halfback One Package. What that is going to do is allow you to get 4 wide receivers on the field, which I assume most of you want. You could, of course, keep your tight end, but the more speed, the better. So we're going to go to the Halfback One Package. Now, going into our audibles, I like to have Y out HB swing, inside zone, spot shake, and mesh spot. There's a couple of other good plays in this, of course, like bench. This halfback wheel play is decent. Z spot there. And, of course, things like PA shot seams as well. Chargers in is another one that we might go over a little bit later. But and, of course, there's other runs like 0-1 trap, but we're probably only going to talk about the inside zone. But we're going to start out in our best play, which is going to be Y out HB swing. Let's jump straight into it. I wouldn't say you need any specific abilities in particular for this scheme. Probably just kind of your normal stuff, gunslinger, escape artist, pass lead elite. But you can go ahead, grab some offensive line abilities. You don't necessarily, if you want another wide receiver apprentice, you could definitely get that. I like to usually put them like right here in the slot. But again, it's not as needed for this scheme, I would say. We have a lot of really good stock routes that we can build our offensive around. So you can get deep out elite if you like that, some different stuff as well. Maybe you like leapfrog. I don't know what the case may be, but just some different things. Now, once again, we're going to start out with Y out HB swing. Now, the way I like to run this is going to be with the running back on the short side of the field, usually like this, where for this play, we have our corner out going to the wide side of the field, gives us the most space to operate. Now, the first way we're going to run it is going to be block our running back and put A on a drag. Just simple 2 drags. You have a corner out and you have your deeper post. So, of course, your early reads are going to be these drag routes. See what's open, read the field, take what's given to you. Well, I really like throwing drags this year. It's just super easy completions. A lot of times, I think where people mess up on offense, and most people won't mess up on offense, it's pretty hard to mess up on offense this year, but where most people, I think, usually go wrong is they're just always looking for the deep play. Then you pick up a sack, and that is usually where the defense is able to get a stop. Usually they need something like a sack to pick it up. But if you literally just watch the middle of the field, there's usually always going to be a route that's open around like the 5-yard mark that you can throw. Again, it's 1st and 10. Most people probably just wouldn't throw something like that, but you see just how easily in this year's game you can throw like a 3-yard pass and just easily pick up a first down. So even on 4th and 10, I've given up so many 4th and 10s. Well, they'll just throw it right here, and then boom, it's like easy 10 yards. I'm like, what just happened? He literally just threw the blindest drag in the world, but because my user is so slow, I can't pick it up. But yeah, so definitely throw your drags. Ideally, what you can do in this play is kind of actually roll out here, roll out, throw your corner out. Now, this play is not super good against cover 3 as far as opening it up for the one-play touchdown. Actually, I shouldn't have hot-routed before I flipped, but as far as the one-play touchdown, we'll show you what it might look like. And again, you're going to probably try and open up Byron Pringle against cover 3, and you see he doesn't really get open. He can potentially, but that outside third generally does a pretty good job at defending it, so the corner out doesn't do really the best at pulling it down. So wouldn't really do that, but that's going to be your first setup. As far as another setup we're going to do, we're just going to streak X now, and this is going to probably open up your corner out a lot more than it did on that first play. So you can roll out, and now you see we have around 15 yards between both that outside third and your curl flat zone. So tons of space between the two. And again, if you're trying to open up the corner out, the best way to do it is either run it like this, or you can actually motion out your streak, snap it. But again, motion streaks this year, you see it takes them so long that it's basically the exact same look, more or less. So probably would just snap in from the slot. You don't really want to motion snap unless it's like a flat. If it's a super deep down the field route, motion snapping is just going to add time onto it. So generally what you want to do is probably just run that stock. But you see, even without the flat route, I forgot to put the drag there. It's going to get open, so you can see how good that's going to be. And this play stock actually isn't bad. You have the little deeper out route with Tyreek Hill stock. So you could actually catch people off guard with a little quick snap action if you wanted to. But moving into another setup we have, we're going to go ahead. What I like to do is hitch a flat X. This is a setup that I've been running pretty consistently since Madden 20. What you do with this flat is either run it stock, or you can actually motion him kind of out like this. You're just going to sit there as a normal flat route. Gives you a nice high-low read between your corner and flat route. Just make the read, make your decision. Really what I liked about this combination in Madden 20 was that the hitch route would always be open because the user is always going to follow the corner route, so it would always open up the hitch. Again, you see against the stock cover 3, the hitch is going to kind of sit there. But that's fine. Some other things you can do with this play, if you wanted, you could also like throw RB on a wheel route because we have that deep post, so we don't really have anything running to the flats. So if we wanted, we can kind of throw that wheel route out there, and you see how we could have kind of snapped through it as Hardman drops the ball and then he drops a pick. But again, we'll go into a lot more wheel route stuff in some other plays, but you can really just throw these wheel routes early and we almost pick up a first down there. So don't sleep on the wheel routes. You can really do that out of any single play in this game. But some other things you can do, maybe you can streak A. This might be good for opening up your post route a little bit more. So if you want, you can kind of lowball this to Pringle right here. Now we don't have Gunslinger with Mahomes, so his release time is going to be a lot slower. Keep that in mind. But with Gunslinger, you should be able to complete that. And you could also run it like this. You don't need the drag. You can actually go ahead, and I'll show something else that you can do if you wanted to do that. This would probably be your best way to open up the post route deep with that streak. You see it kind of helps out. So I'll show that one more time. We're spending the most time with Y out HB because that's the best play in this offense. And again, Byron Pringle is pretty slow. He's not exactly a barn burner, but I don't know if you necessarily go over the top, but if you can fit it in right there, it's 40 yards, you'll take it. But yeah, some other things you could do, maybe if we wanted to streak A, we could actually throw Edwards-Helaire on that little out route to the left, and then you could keep your drag. So this is just going to add another route that can beat man coverage. This play is going to be really good against man. And what you could do with this play, let's say you have a wide receiver apprentice with Tyreek Hill, you could put him on a corner route, you could put the running back on an out to the left, and that would be the best play in the game probably against man. You have deep post, 2 corners, and 2 underneath routes that all beat man coverage. So probably going to call it quits after one more setup, and the last setup is going to be like a little double zig type setup. Good against man coverage. Just wait to see who he defends with his user and then throw it to him. Good against man coverage and can be good against zones, especially if he's playing hard flats, because the hard flats will immediately go to the flats with zone drops, and then you can kind of throw it before and have a chance to cut up the field. So pretty good play against that. Let's go into the inside zone now, and with this inside zone, what I like to do with this is motion out that receiver and snap it. You see this inside zone can be pretty good. I do like running this a lot. When I'm running tight, I'm going to keep a keen mix-up between the pass and the run. Now, it is more of a pass formation, but you do have to mix in the run a lot, and I'll tell you the reason why, because the blocking out of this formation is not the best. So that's going to be a big reason as to why we go ahead and run the ball a lot so that he can't blitz on us. When you run tight, the go-to defensive formation is going to be things like dollar, 2-4-5 odd. They're not going to come out in like a 3-3-5 wide, so you should be able to run the ball on them. I like using this motion. You see, even against a 4-3 normal, which is a 3 linebacker set, you see that we're running the ball pretty good, and this is against San Francisco, getting pretty good blocks there. Now, I don't know what you're doing over there, Joe Tooney, but clearly not blocking Fred Warner was on the agenda. But yeah, I like using the motion. The motion is just going to be a little bit of eye candy. It's just going to simply take his user maybe out of position slightly. He sees the motion, he might follow over there, but you can kind of just motion, snap the ball. And you don't have to. You can, of course, get to the line, just try to quick snap him, catch him on a D lineman, just run inside zone, and it's going to work pretty much the same way. But I like having the motion, and generally I like motioning from that wide receiver, or from the running back side. So I don't usually like motioning like this and then running to that same side. But of course, you can really do whatever. It doesn't necessarily have an effect on the play because it is an inside run. Now, I'm not going to show the 0-1 trap. The 0-1 trap is a good play to run as well. And again, you can go with the same motion to kind of disguise it, but the 0-1 trap is going to be better against heavier type sets. for big play potential. So heavy blitzing sets, if they were in a 4-3 even 6-1, who knows what they're in, but some kind of a heavy blitzing set, it would be pretty dang good against. Moving into play number 3, we got spot shake, which is one of my favorite plays in this. It used to be really good against cover 3. Reason being is, if you remember in the beginning of the year, that verticals cover 3 beater where you had a streak and you had a wheel route, and the wheel route would always beat, or the streak would get open because the outside third's bit down on the wheels. But this play, we're in a different kind of wheel meta at this point in the year, but this play is really good against cover 3. You will see what happens when we run it, but pretty much what we got is a running back wheel. We have a nice slot receiver wheel, and then we have 2 seams and a little shake route with Byron Pringle. What we're going to do, we're going to flat B and we're going to flat X, and we're just going to run it like this. And you will notice, I want you to take a look at Demarcus Robinson because he's going to get wide open down the field against cover 3. So we're going to run it like this, sit in the pocket a little bit, roll out, and you see he got wide open. Sadly, we got shedded, but that's my fault for not double teaming and rolling out. But you notice how we got open. We'll set it up again so we can actually catch the ball. But same thing, flat B, flat X. We're going to kind of roll out here. And who gets wide open? It's our boy Demarcus Robinson, and that should be a tutty as we're able to get in there. So I can't necessarily explain why it works. For whatever reason, this does just really well against cover 3. The outside third, he like seems to get distracted by it, and this is why wheel routes are so good. They're just really glitchy in this year's game. But you see that basically the outside third kind of bites in on this seam route. So again, don't do anything weird. Don't smart route it. Leave it be, and then you can just simply pass it to the sideline as I did right there. But again, pretty good. You notice, I think McCole Hardman's sitting here wide open also, if you wanted to throw it like later in the play potentially. As far as this side, take a look at who else is wide open on the right. It's going to be Edwards-Helaire. Now, he's not going to be open for a touchdown, but 20, 30 yards potentially right there. And again, you have your seam route, which you can actually quick snap throw depending on the coverage. If he doesn't have a hook curl here, if it's only his user, you could actually throw that. But really good sideline play, especially if he's not double mabling, which most people won't. Really easy to catch him off guard. So again, all we did is flat X, flat B, snap the ball. We're going to throw it to Edwards-Helaire here. Now he's on a slower wheel route. If you want a faster wheel route, you can actually throw him on your own. This one I think does cut up a little bit earlier. So I'll show it now with a manual wheel route. So we just hot routed this wheel route, which again, it's going to kind of work the same. Just cuts up a little bit earlier, so really has no effect on the play. And again, you can run this on short side, so the running back wheel does not have to be on the wide side, which is also nice. So again, this one seems to cut to the sideline a little bit more. This one's further inside, so it just depends on what he's doing with his coverage with his user. But yeah, man, we're going to go ahead. And you see Tyreek Hill, he's almost like running a weird post route where he's kind of cutting inside. He does run, he's on a seam, but he cuts pretty far inside. It almost looks like he's running like a weird deep vertical crossing route. And this might have to do with his route running, but you see the ball snapped. He just cuts, like has that weird cut where you don't really see that on a streak where he's almost like cutting across, but then he seems to straighten out. For whatever reason, it gains the attention of Emmanuel Mosley on the left side, and we're able to convert pretty easily there. So that is going to be setup number 1. If you wanted to, you could kind of just run this play stock, and it would not be terrible. You have your little weird shake route there, but just not going to be as high-powered. You want to do those things to open up the wheel routes. I don't have much else with this play other than that, but again, if you were to throw Tyreek Hill on like a little in route, you would see that the play is just not going to work the same, and the outside third should just defend it, which he is there. So again, you do need that seam route, which kind of limits what we can do with this play. But overall, pretty good play regardless. If it's cover 2, you could kind of run this play stock on the left side, and I think the seam route would get open. And then maybe what you do on the right is run like a little corner route to pull over an outside third. So again, pretend Tyreek's on a little corner route, kind of run this, and then you would see McCole Hardman's getting wide open. So could be a good play to run. And again, you can like mix up different things with your hot routes if you wanted to. But and again, I think we could like throw B on a little drag, or maybe we curl him, create a little curl flat. I think something like this would still open it up on the left side. We'll see if it does, which yeah, it does. So again, all you need is that seam, the wheel, and then I like to have the flat just to open up the wheel a little bit more, but I don't know if it's necessarily needed. But yeah, man, overall good play. Spot shake. I like to keep it simple, not mixing up setups too much. All right, we got one more play, and it's going to be similar. We got the mesh spot. I like this play for 2 reasons. 1, we got the wheel route, and 2, we have Demarcus Robinson on a super deep corner route. So he's going to be a lot deeper than wide out HB swing. It's not going to be as good against man coverage, but it is going to be pretty good at getting vertical. Now, what I like to do for this play is flat B. We're just going to run it like this first. Snap the ball. First read is going to be your wheel route. Now, he actually cuts pretty far up the field to where almost it looks like the hook curl has a potential chance at playing it. This is a lot better in game. And again, most people don't sit in stock cover 3. That is something that I do want to keep pointing out. But yeah, you can of course kind of roll out, throw that wheel route if you want. And if you're not comfortable with the weird seam streak wheel route, what you can simply do is just go ahead and put him on the wheel route if you want to. But again, mainly we're running this play for the corner out. The wheel route's just kind of a main. It's just going to have an added bonus at that point. But as far as this deeper wheel route or corner route, you see you can kind of pass it super deep up the field. And it's just a bigger gain. Same as this other corner route. It's going to be the same against every coverage, but it's going to be worse against man, but it's going to get deeper, and it's going to be actually good to get over those zone drops potentially. You can actually run this play stock. The wheel route's not really going to be open, but you have a nice little curl that can kind of sit in the middle of the field. And I think what you can also maybe do with the play is, if I really wanted to, what I might do is see if I can flat A. Now, the wheel route does run pretty quick with Edwards-Hilaire, but you see that actually is better for opening it up traditionally. So that was the idea that I was kind of talking about in the beginning that you could do. It does seem to work a little bit better. So flat A. And then you can streak X. I would recommend streaking X for that clear out. Get the outside third out of it. But you see the wheel route's opened up more. B is going to be open. Now, again, hook curls. Nobody really runs just straight hook curls on the field. They're going to be focused on double flatting to stop your wheel play or wide out HB swing, stop those drags. So again, this play will be a lot better. And again, there's not too many other setups that you can necessarily do with this play. If you really wanted to, you could actually kind of motion one of these plays over maybe, and then create this weird little curl route, kind of weird reverse curl route that I actually found that's pretty good. So you kind of run your play like this, and Byron Pringle is actually going to sit in a pretty good spot here. He's going to run like right about there, and he actually, you see how he takes up 2 zones, can be pretty valuable depending on the other plays that you're running. So just some unique stuff like that. And kind of like one setup I forgot for this play is you can create a triple out type setup out of bunch tight end if you wanted to run your play like this. So this is basically the triple out play art out of Chiefs playbook for bunch tight end. You're just going to get another deep corner route that you can throw, and it's going to be good against things like cover 2. Cover 3, not as good with the super deep ones, which is why the mesh spot one's a little bit better. But that's pretty much going to do it for the video. If you guys enjoyed, drop a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel down below, and peace. I'm out of here.